Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you. David Schwartz says XRP is for everybody. I love it. But we're going to take a look at something, and it's the SEC's crypto war tactics revealed about the crypto space and how the SEC is going after it, and you need to see it. SBI, Mr. Kitao, huge advocate for XRP, says XRP will be quite a price if, and we'll talk about it. And how about this? Speaking of quite a price, is XRP $1 next or retracement? Somebody roll that beautiful intro so we can find out.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, the market is $1.1 trillion. We are up 0.8%. Good morning, everybody. 26,000, slightly over for Bitcoin, 1753 and change for Ethereum. And the market cap for Tether is 83, almost 0.4, 83.3 billion plus this morning. 52 cents for XRP. It's still strong like bull. It's up 2.7% in the last 24 hours, but off by 2.3 in the 7-day, half a percent up in the last hour. We'll keep an eye on it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you want private equity, if you're accredited, this is exactly why I tell you do not mess around. Go to link2.com and get registered, get accredited, and get the private equity you want before it makes some kind of public exit. I want you to look at this. PolySign is available right now. Ripple is available, but for how long, ladies and gentlemen? Look, Link2, fully subscribed right now. Chainalysis is amazing. Fully subscribed right now. Uphold, still available, right? Look at all these incredible products. Artificial intelligence. You know everybody is excited about artificial intelligence, and I am too. And I tell you right now, look at this artificial intelligence. Standard AI, fully subscribed. This is why I tell you don't mess around. Click the link and make sure you get the private equity you're looking for at the best price possible at link2.com. Click that link underneath the video. Well, we start right here, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Cowboy.Crypto. You might recognize this guy, and if you don't, you're going to be more familiar with him after tomorrow because the Hinman emails come out one day from now, tomorrow. And meanwhile, this guy's lapping up all the ability he can to go sit on conferences, speaking fees, and this, that, and the other. That may soon change by tomorrow. Bill Hinman shows up to a conference on Friday, last Friday, where Citadel Securities and Fidelity are sponsoring. Paradigm and Sequoia Capital are Citadel's only two listed investors. Fred Ersham, founder at Coinbase, is founder at Paradigm. Heath Tarbert, ex-CFTC commissioner, met with Jay Clayton the day before Ripple lawsuit, then went to Citadel himself, where he's been the chief legal officer since. Heath left Citadel and joined Circle 2 days ago, as we remember. We reported here on the channel, and is now the chief legal head of corporate affairs there. Fidelity investments include only a few crypto projects, one of them being Coinmetrics, which is made up of investors like BlockFi, Castle Island Ventures, Coinbase Ventures, Digital Currency Group, Goldman Sachs, Warburg Serres, deep China ties there. Fidelity is invested in Joseph Lubin's Eris X exchange, not to mention Airbnb, which is a Simpson Thacher deal. Fidelity also invested Talos and with A16Z, many others in May 2022. Can't wait for those emails. Me either, Cowboy Crypto. One day away, ladies and gentlemen. One day away. And right here from Jeremy Hogan, a modest proposal. If the U.S. regulators believe that crypto is inherently fraudulent and has no value, then buying crypto is not an investment but pure speculation and would make more sense to regulate as gambling and not as securities, just to be rationally consistent. And this is based on this comment here inside of this, where we don't need more digital currency. This is basically coming after the comments and remarks from Gary Gensler. But then it says here, the SEC suit against Coinbase in particular hinges on the moral presumption that cryptocurrency is inherently fraudulent and valueless. This allows them to paint Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong as the same as Sam Bankman-Fried in the public eye, despite the fact that the first has run a stable, trustworthy service for a decade, and the second was an incompetent boob with zero moral compass or basic mathematical ability. Well said to whoever wrote that. And this right here is the outlook from the outgoing CEO of PayPal. Wait till you hear what he says about DLT, stablecoin CBDCs. Dan Schulman right here. Take a listen.
I think most people really misunderstand crypto. I think most people...
1 second here. Let me get the volume. Well, I wanted to play you the clip, but I'm afraid that it won't play. I'm not getting the audio to play. I don't know what's happening this morning, but what I would give you is exactly what was captioned here. You will get the gist of it here. So shout out to Rob Calley for this. Outgoing CEO PayPal Dan Schulman says our new financial system will use distributed ledger technology, a stable coin, and CBDCs. He highlighted that 80% of the central banks are already in some sort of development of CBDCs themselves. However, it will not be done with volatile speculative cryptos like Bitcoin, Doge, or Ethereum. And he did say that. But however, the question remains, as Rob rightly asked here, with regulatory clarity, can XRP and the XRP ledger be the stable coin and the rail? How about that one? I know the parity's there. And you know what? Adding to that, Ripple CTO David Schwartz here says XRP is for everyone, especially people sick of banks. Well, we go into this very quickly here, and this all started with this guy Panos here, who said, hey, David, could you comment on this and clear it up for people who still disagree? And then he shares his tweet. It's sad that a big part of the XRP community still believes that XRP was created for banks or to help institutions. It was literally created to destroy the bank's monopoly and disintermediate them. XRP was created as a better Bitcoin, BTC, for peer-to-peer transactions for people, not banks. And the thread goes on. He says, I 100% agree with that thread. Awesome description. Well, I think this is the choir preaching to the choir, right? Of course we all see it that way. The reason anyone asked the question to begin with is because there's this, well, $200 million plus lawsuit going on right now with the SEC, because it's the SEC who says that that isn't the case, right? So when you hear these people posture that, you know, oh, this nonsensical, they think XRP is just for the banks. No, the SEC believes that. That's exactly why the SEC is claiming it's a security, right? That's exactly why in the writing of the complaint, they wrote that every single sale, including secondary market sales, are in fact securities. And that is to get an unregistered security designation from a judge, so then they can take aim against you and what you've purchased. So you can agree with that. I agree with that. I think that's accurate too. But what we need is a legal definition and a legal judge like Judge Torres to agree with it. And meanwhile, I figured I'd share here. This is a great post from Yassin Mubarak here. I had the pleasure of meeting Yassin at XRP Las Vegas. He said, I always found it strange and suspicious that Ripple was sued and XRP was accused of being security while Stellar was spared and nothing happened to XLM. And I have a theory about that. I said, agreed, but I also feel there's no need to sue the same technology. I believe the SEC is suing different protocols and use cases to create legal buckets. That's what I believe is happening for the industry. Congress can use those legal buckets to write legislation, which I spelled wrong, around it in a couple years, while XRP has free run with legal clarity, priming the chosen value protocol with legitimate trusted liquidity providers. At least that's the dream. And if you can see here, I wanted to put together a diagram so you could see what I believe is taking place here. And I've listed some of the ones in question. So you don't need to sue Stellar and XLM because it's federated Byzantine agreement and consensus settlement on that value protocol too. It is in fact a copy of the XRP ledger. Now, obviously, they may have made changes somewhere down the line, but it's the same technological protocol. It's not a fork, it's a copy, right? DeFi, what did we see? DeFi Money Market was sued. BlockFi was sued for lending. Proof of stake. We see Cardano has been listed as a security. We see in the KuCoin case that the New York Attorney General, the SDNY, has said that Ethereum in the KuCoin case is also a security. Will we see them go after Bitcoin? And if you do, with Ethereum and Bitcoin claiming to be decentralized, who is it exactly that would show up in court? Because the people that would show up in court representing the network would make it the security, according to a lawyer. And we've yet to see an NFT case get sued, but I'd be looking for it. And once we have legal precedent in these areas, and hopefully a positive one here for Ripple, because I do believe XRP is for everyone too, as long as we get the legal ruling that says so, then Congress will use these legal precedents and these legal different definitions as buckets to determine which one of the next 20-some thousand projects will fall into one of these buckets. And there may be another bucket or two, right? But this is what it looks like is happening to me, because it looks like complete chaos. But if you see it this way, it actually isn't. But it's still just as threatening, because if they don't get the legal decision right, it will squash innovation. And hopefully, days, maybe weeks away from finding out the first major legal decision here, because we know how DeFi Money Market and BlockFi turned out. And a reminder here on the geopolitical level very quickly here, it is official. London has been crowned the tech capital of the world, according to Dr. Martin Heisboik, and what he's sharing here, described as having both the best talent and strong international reputation. London beat out the likes of New York, San Francisco, and Hong Kong. I have often said keep your eyes on London and Japan, because those two areas of the world have been extremely forward-thinking in the digital asset space. Now let's take a look at this. Now here at home, we know tomorrow we're one day away, ladies and gentlemen, from the him and emails. Well, the Securities Exchange Commission versus Ripple Labs. We see an update on Pacer here, but we can't see what it is yet. But last updated 12:57 June 12th. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. What's in those emails? We're going to find out. And this here from SBI's Mr. Kitao, Yoshitaka Kitao here, speaking about XRP, and the CEO says, Achi ni over there, Ripple says conclusion in weeks ahead. And if XRP found as a coin, it will be quite a price, and the company will IPO. And that gives a shareholder big capital gain, even if we sell or keep it on the books. That's the Japanese to English translation, is always not to be taken word for word. And Kitao saying speaks like Daimoyo, I guess it is, not a government PR person in a government news conference. So that's where you have that. He is completely bullish on what's coming down the line here. And so's this guy, former Ripple executive here. This is Craig DeWitt talking about his outcome he wants to see, and I want you to hear it too. Take a listen here.
But we'll talk, hot and honey hot takes you got.
Gotcha.
Doesn't have to be crypto. It can be anything in life. But give me a couple good sound bites.
Go, crypto is life, man. You got the those are the same thing for me. Here's my hot take.
Hit me.
SEC gets their ass kicked in the Ripple case. Absolutely get their ass kicked in the Ripple case. But the ruling comes out in such a way that XRP is alone cleared as a non-security in the United States. Meaning that with all the other stuff that the SEC is pulling, suing exchanges, suing other coins, they're going to sue some big ones as well, that only BTC and XRP have legal clarity in the United States for a 2-year period.
Just taking some show notes on that one. Ooh,
that would be like the turnaround of a century, right? Go from getting beat up by the government to being the only one with clarity because I spent $250 or $200 million fighting this case.
Is that how much Ripple spent?
Yeah, it's a public number, but yeah, like $200 million.
There you have that, ladies and gentlemen. And I tell you, Craig DeWitt talking about a massive win for Ripple and having 2 years of road ahead of them while the rest of the space goes through everything that we've just gone through may speak wildly to exactly what I've shared here, because that sounds a lot like what we've just gone through. And if we get legal clarity while the rest of the space is getting crushed to provide legal precedent for the future, that may make a lot of sense to me at my house. Meanwhile, we see one technical analyst here says, you might all know me by that I am one perma bull here. He says, but when it comes to XRP, the below chart might provide another opportunity for dollar cost averages. In other words, we may see a dip and a pullback in price temporarily before things actually take off. Keep an eye out for it. While at the same time, Dark Defender says that we could proceed with $1 soon. So they're both obviously overall bullish on the macro, but we need to be paying very close attention for any kind of a pullback prior to that and understanding what it may mean in the long term versus short term. Head on a swivel. This is crypto. You never know. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.